Welcome to English Tips by Sunshine English Academy. I am Milind Deshpande. In this lesson, we are going to learn some interesting things about positive, comparative, and superlative adjectives. Adjectives are words that describe nouns. So, in the sentence, this is a beautiful flower. The flower is described by the word beautiful. So, beautiful is an adjective. Adjectives usually come before nouns. So, in a sentence, the adjective beautiful has come before the noun flower. But sometimes adjectives come after the nouns when they are used with be verbs and sense verbs. For example, this flower is beautiful. Here, the adjective beautiful has come after the noun flower, and it has also come after the be verb is. The flower smells beautiful. Here, smells is a sense verb. Hence, the adjective beautiful has come after the noun flower and also after the sense verb smells. The petals feel silky. Here, feel is a sense verb, hence the adjective silky has come after the noun petals and also after the sense verb feel. The sense verbs are actions we do with our five senses: the sense of sight, sense of smell, sense of taste, sense of hearing, and sense of touch. When we describe just one thing, the adjective we use is called a positive adjective. In the sentence, this is a beautiful flower. Beautiful is a positive adjective because it is describing one thing, that is, the flower. But when we describe two things and compare them with each other, we use a comparative adjective. The pink flower is more beautiful than the yellow flower. Here, the two things are a pink flower and a yellow flower, and we are comparing them. So, the adjective we use is more beautiful, which is a comparative adjective. When we describe and compare three or more things and talk about the thing with the highest or lowest degree of any quality, the adjective we use is a superlative adjective. The pink flower is the most beautiful. Here we are comparing three things: a red flower, a pink flower, and a white flower. All three flowers are beautiful, but the most beautiful is the pink flower. Hence, in our sentence, the pink flower is the most beautiful. The most beautiful is the superlative adjective. So, once again, when we describe one noun, we use a positive adjective like beautiful. When we describe two nouns and compare them, we use a comparative adjective like more beautiful or less beautiful. When we describe three nouns and compare them, we use a superlative adjective like the most beautiful or the least beautiful. But there are other ways in which we form comparative and superlative adjectives. For comparative adjectives, we add the suffix er to the adjective, and for superlative adjectives, we add the suffix est to it. In the example, faster is a comparative adjective where we have added er as the suffix to the adjective fast. And the fastest is a superlative adjective where we have added the est suffix to the adjective fast. So should we say happy, happier, the happiest, or should we say happy, more happy, the most happy? Well, if the er and est forms of the words exist in the dictionary, then we must use them. So we should use happy, happier, the happiest instead of happy, more happy, the most happy. Here is a way in which we can decide whether we can add the er or est suffix to the adjectives or not. If the adjective is a one syllable word, then we can add er to form the comparative degree and est to form the superlative degree. If the adjectives are three or more syllable words, then the adjectives are preceded by the words more or less in the comparative forms and by the words the most or the less in the superlative forms. When the adjectives are two syllable words, then sometimes we can use the suffix er or est for the comparative and superlative forms, and sometimes we have to use the words more or less, or the most or the least for the comparative and superlative forms. Let's look at these examples. Sharp, sound, steep. These are one syllable adjectives. So we say steep, steeper, the steepest. Profound and empty are two syllable words. Here we can add er and est and say empty, emptier, the emptiest. Global and solid are also two syllable words, but here we have to say solid, more solid, the most solid. Wonderful is a three syllable word, so we have to say wonderful, more wonderful, the most wonderful. Astonishing is a four syllable word, so here we have to say astonishing, more astonishing, the most astonishing. Note that many adjectives don't have any comparative or superlative forms. Here are a few of them. Look at the first adjective, absolute. It cannot be absoluter or absolutist, nor can it become more absolute and the most absolute in the comparative and superlative forms. There are no comparative and superlative forms. Some adjectives have irregular comparative and superlative forms. Examples: good, better, the best; bad, worse, the worst. Please notice the spellings here. W-O-R-S-E, worse. W-O-R-S-T, worst. Then little, less, the least; much, more, the most; far, further, the furthest. When some words have the same meanings as good or bad, we use the same comparative and superlative adjectives as we use for good or bad. For example, fantastic, better, the best; horrible, worse, the worst. Now we are going to do an interesting exercise. By the way, you must have learned a few new things in this lesson. So if you want to continue to improve your English with the help of easy and well explained lessons like this, please subscribe to my channel and watch all my videos. Here are a few sentences. You have to decide whether they are correct or not. So pause your video here and go through them. And once you have decided whether they are correct or not, you can continue with the video to find the answers. Pause now. Here are the answers. Mobile phones are now commoner than wristwatches. This is correct because the word commoner exists in the dictionary. The word than is highlighted here just to remind you that when we use comparative adjectives, the word than is used before the second noun. Mahesh is politer than Rajat is correct because politer exists in the dictionary. The Blue Nile is long than the Ganga is incorrect. Here we are comparing two things, the Blue Nile and the Ganga. Hence we must use a comparative adjective and the sentence should be the Blue Nile is longer than the Ganga. This method is logicaler than that one. This is incorrect because there is no such word as logicaler in the dictionary. The correct sentence should be this method is more logical than that one. Russia is the large country in the world. This is incorrect. We are comparing Russia with all the other countries in the world. Hence, we must use a superlative adjective. The sentence should be Russia is the largest country in the world. Sonali is quicker than the rest. This is correct. Quicker is the correct comparative adjective, and we are comparing Sonali, that is one thing, with the rest, which is another thing. Manali is the quickest of them all. Here we are comparing Manali with all the others. So we should use a superlative adjective, and the quickest is the correct superlative adjective. This book is more better than that book. We should not use more and the er suffix together. Either we should use more or the er suffix. The correct sentence should be this book is better than that book. You can get the most clearest view from this window. Here again, we should not use the most and the est suffix together. Either we use the most or est. The correct sentence should be you can get the clearest view from this window. Train number 21 is less fast than train number 44. When the appropriate word exists in the dictionary, we must use it. So we should say train number 1 is slower than train number 44. That's the end of our lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.